morning, everyone. We are the Group 2, and we're going to discuss the continuation of Renaissance. And our topic is the life and work of Leonardo da Vinci and Raphael Santi. The first one is Leonardo da Vinci.
Who was Leonardo da Vinci? His full name is Leonardo di Serpiero da Vinci, as an artist best known for dramatic and expressive artwork. In his own time, he was known just as Leonardo or as Second Florentine since he lived near Florence. He was raised by his single father. Leonardo was an Italian polymath of the High Renaissance who was active as a painter, draughtsman, engineer, scientist, tourist, sculptor, and architect. Leonardo da Serpiero da Vinci, o mas kilala natin sa pangalan na Leonardo da Vinci, ay isang kilalang pangalan hindi lamang sa panahon ng Italian Renaissance, ngunit kinikilala pa rin bilang isa sa mga pinakakilalang pangalan sa mundo ng sining ngayon, bagamat kilala siya para sa kanyang dramatiko at nagpapahayag na likhang sining. Nagsagawa rin si Leonardo ng dose-dosenang maingat na pinag-isipang mga eksperimento at lumikha ng mga futuristic na imbensyon na naging groundbreaking sa panahong iyon.
If you wanted to learn about the human anatomy in the 1500s, there was no easy way to do so, no medical textbooks, and of course, no way to Google search an image. So he studied the only way he could, by examining corpses. Hospitals were keen to support his artistic research and gave him access to cadavers. He dissected over 30 bodies in his lifetime and filled thousands of pages with notes and detailed drawings. If you're having trouble reading this, it's because Da Vinci had a habit of writing backward. He also liked to go from right to left. He was left-handed, so some have speculated this would have stopped his ink from smudging. As a result, his writing could only be read normally in a mirror. He probably wouldn't have done this if he had any intention of publishing his notes. His depictions of the body are beautiful and for the most part accurate. So accurate that professors can actually use his drawings to teach anatomy.
Some facts about Leonardo da Vinci. He was left-handed, he wrote in reverse, many of his work are unfinished. He was illegitimate because Leonardo da Vinci's parents were not married, so he was considered an illegitimate child. He was unschooled dahil hindi siya nakareceive ng any kind of normal education. Ipinanganak siya noong April 15, 1452 sa Anciano, Italy, o small village in Tuscany, Italy. At namatay noong May 2, 1519 sa Closlosi. Namatay siya cause of stroke sa edad na 67 years old. Leonardo is considered by historians to be natural genius, at totoo talaga yun. Today, he is remembered for his art, especially in his famous masterpiece such as the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper. When did Leonardo da Vinci became famous? In 1503, da Vinci started working on what would become his most well-known painting at marahil ito na nga yung pinakatanyag niyang artwork, ang Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa is a half-length portrait of Lisa Gherardini, painting by Italian artist Leonardo da Vinci, considered an archetypal masterpiece of the Italian Renaissance. It has been described as the best known, the most visited, the most written about, the most sung about, the most parodied work of art in the world. Ayan. Ito nga yung itinuturing na isang archetypal obra maestra ng Italian Renaissance na si Leonardo da Vinci na talaga namang ilinarawan bilang isa sa pinakamahusay, kilala at binibisita ng marami. Mona Lisa means My Lady is the wife of wealthy Florentine businessman na si Francisco del Giocondo who hired Leonardo to paint a portrait of his wife. Ito ay may lapad na 53 cm at may habang 77 cm na matatagpuan natin sa Louvre Museum. Some facts about Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa is the most famous and most valuable painting in the world. It is portrait painting of a woman that is considered a masterpiece in the world of art. It is the most visited painting in the world. It may be unfinished work. It was stolen in 1911. who stole the Mona Lisa in 1911 by the Italian handyman Vincenzo Perugia. Pablo Picasso was once suspected to steal the Mona Lisa. Some questions about Mona Lisa. Does the Mona Lisa have eyebrows? Ayan, a lot of people wonder at kasama na ako doon why the Mona Lisa doesn't have any eyebrows. Did you know the Mona Lisa has no eyebrows? O masasabi ba nating nakalimutan lang iguhit ni Leonardo da Vinci ang kanyang kilay? Some people say the Mona Lisa is an unfinished work at marami namang nagsasabi na ipinintal ito ni Leonardo ng may kilay but they were erased over time. Another reason, it is the fashion in the Renaissance ang mag-ahit. Women shave their facial hair including their eyebrows. Mona Lisa's is smiling. Ayan, hindi ko rin po alam kung ano ba talaga yung totoo, pero para sa akin, her smile is enigmatic, napaka-mysterious. Pero yung labi niya seems to turn upward, kaya para rin siyang nakangiti. Then makikita rin naman natin sa kanyang mga pisngi at mga mata na parang ansaya niya. Then, why does Mona Lisa eyes follow you? Marahil mapapansin nga natin kapag tinitigan natin yung kanyang larawan, ayan para talagang nakatingin siya sa atin kahit saan tayo tumayo. At ang last, can you buy the Mona Lisa? Truly priceless. The painting cannot be bought or sold according to the French heritage law. As a part of the Louvre collection, Mona Lisa belongs to the public and by popular agreement, their hearts belong to her.
One of the famous artworks of Leonardo da Vinci is The Last Supper o Ang Huling Hapunan. What is the Last Supper? Ito ay ang pagkain na kinain ni Kristo kasama ang kanyang mga alagad sa gabi bago ang kanyang pagpapako sa krus kung saan pinaniniwalaan niyang itinatag ang Eukaristiya. What is the story of the Last Supper? All four Gospels give an account of the Last Supper in the Bible. At this gathering, Jesus Christ shared his final meal with the disciples on the night before he was arrested. Also called the Lord's Supper, the Last Supper was significant because Jesus showed his followers that he would become the Passover Lamb of God. The four Gospels are Matthew, Luke, Mark, and Corinthians. Why is the Last Supper so famous? Leonardo's Last Supper is among the famous paintings in the world. In its monumental simplicity, the composition of the scene is masterful. The power of it comes from the striking contrast in the attitudes of the 12 disciples as counterposed as Christ. The 12 disciples in the Last Supper are Bartolome, Andrew, James the Lesser, Judas, Peter, John, Philip, James the Greater, Jude, Thomas, Matthew, and Simon.
Let's go to discuss the life of Raphael Santi.
Raffaello Sanzio de Urbino, better known as Raphael, was an Italian master painter and an architect in the High Renaissance. Raphael is best known for his Madonnas and for his large figure compositions in the Vatican. His work is admired for its clarity of form and ease of composition, and for its visual achievement of the Neoplatonic ideal of human grandeur. Together with Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo, he forms the traditional trinity of great masters of that period. Raphael is also famous for his use of color-clean composition and stunning naturalism. Raphael was born in the small central Italian city of Urbino in 1483. His father Giovanni was the resident court artist to the Duke of Urbino. He was both a poet and a painter, so it was likely that Raphael's first lessons came from him. After the death of his father, when Raphael was 11, he learned from other Central Italian artists, including Perugino. His talent was clear, and by 1508, Pope Julius II invited him to work in Rome. by creating a large workshop. Raphael was able to turn out a remarkable number of works. His career falls naturally into three phases and three styles, as described by Giorgio Vasari. First, his early years in Umbria. Second, is a period of 4 years absorbing the artistic tradition of Florence. Third, was his last hectic and triumphant 12 years in Rome, working with 2 popes and close associates. Here are some facts about Raphael and his works. Number 1. He grew up surrounded by culture. Number 2. He considered one of the masters of the High Renaissance. Number 3. Many of his works are found in the Vatican Palace. Number 4. Raphael's rooms were the central and the largest work of his career. Number 5. His best work is the School of Athens. Number 6. Michelangelo is his rival. And lastly, number 7. Outside Rome, his work was mostly known from his collaborative printmaking. Here are the top 5 most famous works of Raphael. First, the School of Athens. Second, Sistine Madonna. Third, Transfiguration. Fourth, Madonna and the Child with Saint John the Baptist. Fifth, the Triumph of Galatea.
The Sistine Madonna. Commissioned by Pope Julius II in 1530, the Sistine Madonna is one of the world's most recognizable paintings. Capturing the public's imagination, the 2 cherubs at the bottom of the altarpiece who sit as observing looking up at the Madonna and the Christ child as they descend from a heavenly space. Ang komisyon ni Pope Julius II noong 1530, ang 2 kerubin sa ibaba ng altar ay nakaupo bilang mga nagmamasid sa Madonna at sa Batang Kristo habang sila ay bumaba. Raphael was called to Rome at the end of 1505 by Pope Julius II, on whom he had made a great impression. The Sistine Madonna was commissioned as an altarpiece for the chapel of the convent of Saint Sixtus in Piacenza in 1513. Si Raphael ay tinawag sa Rome sa pagtatapos ng 1505 ni Pope Julius II kung saan siya ay gumawa ng isang mahusay na impression. Pope Julius II had a particular interest in the Saint Sixtus in chapel, given that before becoming Pope, then still a cardinal, he had made a contribution to the original building fund for the chapel, which housed the supposed relics of Saint Sixtus and Saint Barbara expression on the faces of the Madonna and Child. Madonna and Christ are shown to be hovering in the clouds. The young mother looks innocent and is clasping baby Jesus in her scarf. To her breast, she is wearing the famous impenetrable gaze as her right cheek touches baby Jesus' head and she floats barefoot with toes that are too short and unnatural. Gaze. The painting Pope Sixtus II takes his Pope's mitre off and puts it on the plank where the 2 cherubs are resting on their arms. He is starting at Madonna and Christ in surprise. The painting Pope Sixtus II takes his Pope's mitre off and nilagay kung saan ang 2 kerubin ay nagpapahinga sa kanilang mga braso. The 2 cherubs are the most popular image associated with the Sistine Madonna given the huge amount of merchandise, gift cards, and etc. that is sold regarding the painting in Dresden, where the painting is located and around the world. One of the cherubs is resting his chin on his left hand and the other is folding his arms. Both of them are looking up to Madonna and her son as onlookers. Raphael's Sistine Madonna makes heavy use of red, green, and white. These are the traditional color of Italy. Raphael has painted the Mary in her traditional blue and red, along with Pope Sixtus II in gold and white, the official colors of the Pope and the Holy Church. Despite this, these colors do not overlap the central figures of the painting, the Madonna and Christ did.
The Transfiguration. In 1516 to 1520, Raphael's work of art Transfiguration was created beginning in 1516 and was thought to be finished by his student of art Leo Romana in 1520. After Raphael's premature death with such a masterpiece, it was a pity that Raphael died in a Good Friday in 1520. The painting of the Transfiguration was exposed next to the body of Raphael in the days after his death, and it was initially placed above his tomb in the Pantheon. Galileo de Medici, who later became Pope Clement VII, commissioned Raphael to paint the Transfiguration for the city of Narbonne in France. The painting was kept personally by the Pope after Raphael's ultimately death, until he donated it to the Church of San Pedro in Rome. The Transfiguration is considered to be one of Raphael's best works, only surpassed according to some by his fresco of the School of Athens, which is also in the Vatican Museum. The Transfiguration was ahead of its time. This artistic composition is divided into two distinct parts, the two unrelated biblical events as stories of the Gospel of Matthew. Half, the upper part of the painting depicts Christ elevated in the front of billowing, illuminated clouds, and on either side of him are the prophets Elijah and Moses. Jesus is shown on the top of Mount Tabor in gleaming snow-white robe with next to him the prophets Moses on the right and Elijah on the left. The clouds behind Jesus are illuminated. Jesus raises his arms and looks up. Jesus are three of his disciples. From the left to right, James, Peter, and John. They cover their faces with their hands as the sky is too bright for their eyes. The two figures on the left are probably Justus and Pastor. They are two Christian martyrs to whom the church in which the painting was initially intended to be placed is dedicated. In the bottom half, in the lower portion of the painting, the apostles are depicted, trying unsuccessfully to rid the possessed boy of demons. The upper portion shows a transfigured Christ appearing to the performing a miracle, curing the boy and ridding him of the evil. The disciples are unable to heal the young man. This may explain why the disciple in red is pointing towards Jesus on top of the mountain. The sick young man on the right has a blue cloth wrapped around his middle and looks very pale while making a wild gesture. You can see that his eyes are looking in different directions. The man behind him in the green robe is his father who is holding him, and he looks at the disciples with hope and fear at the same time. In front of the young man, two women look at the disciples while pointing at the young man.